Hey guys, and welcome to the Working Money channel. Matthew Hyland here on Twitter posting this with regards to Bitcoin weekly Bollinger Bands. Guys, this is one of those indicators that we look at when we want to try to predict trend direction. So, the higher we're trading on the Bollinger Bands, the more likely the trend will go down. And the lower we're trading, the more chances will go up. So he's also showing us this line graph down here, and you guys can see Bollinger Bands trading fairly low in relation to its former performance. And when we've seen that, guys, what do we see? We've seen the trend move up. You guys can see that over here. If you follow this line up, you guys can see that was the beginning of this uptrend here. Same thing happened in 2019. If you follow that up the chart here, you look at Bitcoin, and that's when we made this move up. So Bollinger Bands, also depending on how narrow and how wide these bands are, will depict volatility. And generally what we see is cryptocurrencies become more volatile and then slowly taper off, become less volatile over time, and then boom, a big pop. So those two things in conjunction here, trading very low here in relation to the rest of the trend. That means Bitcoin is likely going to pop to the upside. And also, you guys can see in here the narrowing of the Bollinger Bands. I mean, it's anybody's guess, but hopefully we are going to see some Bitcoin activity pretty soon. Bitcoin right now trading at 29,400, give or take. So we really have not seen too much in terms of price movement, and it feels like it's been that way for a while. So $29,393 per BTC. I've got Bitcoin here on the daily. And as you guys can see, the last few days, we haven't seen much in the way of trading. Very low volume and not too much price movement either way. The last time we saw any significant price movement was back in mid-June when we saw Bitcoin go from about $25,000 all the way up to almost $32,000 per coin. And, since then we've seen that tapering off. But you know what? When we zoom out, guys, we're still in pretty good shape. Again, this is going to take time. Patience is key in crypto. And I know, we want to see these high targets. We want to see Bitcoin move, then the rest of the market move. And I know a lot of you guys, especially those on the Patreon, want to know targets for, certain cryptocurrencies. This is all going to depend on what happens in the moment. So, the beauty of the Patreon is that I'm monitoring this in real time, and I'm going to be letting everybody know what I'm doing in real time. But I mean, the market is looking good. I mean, it's looking pretty status quo, I guess we could say. As of now, at least, XRP trading at around 70 cents. So we haven't really seen too much movement for XRP over the last few days. But, this is just a follow-up to that exciting activity that we saw in the middle of the month. Let me throw this on the hourly, and just to show you guys, we haven't seen too much activity. It's just been vacillating after this very volatile period. We did just see XRP just kind of come down and stay within this range here that we're eyeballing. Really, we just need to break up past here in order to see another move. But again, this could take time. This will likely, this is my prediction, this will likely happen when we do see that broader Bitcoin move. So the beginning of the Nike swoosh pattern, this breakout here, this is the first breakout. So breakout number one. And who knows how long it's going to be before we see breakout number two again. I'm thinking it's going to happen with Bitcoin. However, there's lots going on in the space, guys. And here we are in a speculative crypto market because we still technically are in a spec market. And charting is kind of the best indicator, I think, for looking at where price is going to go in the future. There are other schools of thought, though, especially when it comes to XRP. And guys, I'm going to get to one today, the real world utility. We've got a very, very positive, optimistic goal set forth by an XRP community member, and we're going to get to that in a second. Raul Pal, though, here posting this, been running this chart for a few years now on Global Macro Investor, and it is bang on target. So with regards to real world adoption, this is what he's posted. The adoption of crypto is relentless. It will likely exceed the 43% adoption rate of the internet over the next 3 years. And so here we have a chart comparing crypto users to total internet users over year 1, 2, 3, 4, all the way to year 10 for adoption. And you guys can see the internet users are in white and the crypto users are in blue. And guys, here's the projection after year 7. So 425 million crypto users. If we project a 43% yearly growth, which we've been seeing, yearly growth has been 137% up until this point, we are likely to see 1.2 billion by year 10. So The adoption, we've talked about adoption for cryptocurrency compared to the internet in the past, and it is already on a trajectory far surpassing internet usage, which took a slower time to really kind of ramp up. Then people, got comfortable with the internet and started, using it more often. But guys, crypto is happening faster, and we've talked about this in the past. Raul Pal just given us the info on that. Not to mention all the applications, guys, that we're seeing from Ripple Partners. This one from Matthew Liny. Okay, Deloitte has used Ripple software in the past. If you guys don't remember, back in 2016, here's what Deloitte did. They integrated Ripple and banking software for international transfers. So this is just a headline here. Ripple integration will enable banks to send payments directly and in real time without relying on intermediaries. And just to go back to that, you guys can see that was from 2016. Well, now, guys, Deloitte is partnering with Chainalysis, and they're announcing an alliance to provide digital asset data and analytic solutions and services. So, going beyond payments here, Deloitte and Chainalysis, the blockchain data platform, today announced a new strategic alliance to help the organization's mutual clients address digital asset ecosystem compliance challenges. Through the alliance, Chainalysis and Deloitte's shared clients will be able to leverage Chainalysis's proprietary blockchain dataset and industry-leading analytics software and training program with Deloitte services to help clients manage forensic, investigative, and compliance programs. As regulators clarify their expectations around digital assets, law enforcement agencies build out their blockchain tracing capabilities, and financial institutions develop digital asset strategies, Deloitte and Chainalysis are meeting market demand for risk management technology solutions and services. Here they're talking about digital asset risk analytics, investigation, anti-money laundering, know your client, and regulatory compliance. So, a lot of this we're going to start to see on the blockchain. And it seems as though, this partnership is rolling out new technology, Deloitte, Chainalysis on the cutting edge, of course. And, as per Matt here, we can see Deloitte has a deep history in technology and blockchain technology. They were some of the first to get into this. So interesting to note that. I wanted to thank Matt for posting that. Considering what we're seeing worldwide, it's interesting to also note that the SEC has just asked Coinbase to halt all cryptocurrency trading except for Bitcoin. So only Bitcoin. Are you allowed to trade on Coinbase? Did you not get the memo? Wheezy at Nerd Nation Unbox posting this, and XRP, did they forget so soon already? It's only been a half a month. John Deaton here originally tweeting this out. Now you can truly see just how significant the XRP ruling was. Over a year ago, I did a video for Crypto Law US entitled Every Coin is in Danger, and John Deaton really did nail it on the head here. At the beginning of the video, I say I'm going to prove why everyone, even if you hate Ripple and despise XRP, should be hoping the SEC falls flat on its face, and John has linked the video here in this tweet thread, so I will link this tweet in the description of the video for you if you want to watch that. John Deaton goes on to say if the SEC had won the case as it had hoped, Gary Gensler and Elizabeth Warren's anti-crypto army would have been out in full force. Do you think all Democrats have spoken out since the Torres decision, including the 6 who voted in favor of the bill coming out of the Financial Committee, that would have done what they did had Torres ruled XRP a security? Of course not. When I called the Ripple XRP case the most significant non-fraud SEC enforcement action in modern history since 1946 to be exact, it wasn't hyperbole, as some had suggested. So, an interesting move there, guys. Here is the story. Coinbase has asked to halt all trading on, not Coinbase. The SEC has asked Coinbase to halt all trading except for Bitcoin. In a shocking revelation, Brian Armstrong, the CEO of Coinbase, has disclosed that the SEC has recommended the crypto exchange to halt all trading of cryptocurrencies, excluding Bitcoin. But guys, now they're trading XRP, so I'm wondering what they actually mean by that. Do they also mean XRP? I mean, it would be pretty ridiculous if they did. Here's a quote. They came back to us and they said, "We believe every asset other than Bitcoin is a security," Armstrong told the Financial Times. And we said, well, how are you going to come to that conclusion? Because that's not our interpretation of the law. And they said they're not going to explain it to you. You need to delist every asset other than Bitcoin. So that was the statement there from Brian Armstrong, the CEO of Coinbase. And you know what this essentially does? I mean, you guys can see it. I mean, I think it's plain and simple. The SEC wants power. They don't want people to trade. They realize that Coinbase is one of the most popular exchanges in the US. And so if they can stranglehold them and ask them to delist, and if Coinbase complies, well, what are Americans going to do? They're going to have a hard time trading cryptocurrencies in the US, and that's exactly what the SEC wants. So, this is just another tactic. Now, they cannot go after the coins, so they have to go after the exchanges. And, now it's really up to Coinbase what they decide to do. Are they going to listen? Are they not? Coinbase your move. And, you know, to be honest, I think they should take a page out of Uphold's book and just kind of not listen to them. See what happens next. I mean, they sure do have the firepower, the lawyer power there. So, I mean, it's going to really be destructive for their business model, too. I mean, they rely on trading to make revenue for the company. So I do wonder how this is going to go. And if you guys are interested in reading this, I will link it in the description of the video. Bill Morgan here also commenting, at the time Coinbase wasn't trading XRP and now it is, the importance of the decision of Judge Torres to the industry, especially her finding the XRP token itself is not a security, and her legal reasoning on that point is more apparent now than ever. Michaela G down here wrote, I woke up today with the thought that Elon is going to use XRP for Twitter. 1, he loves X even when unreasonable. Number 2, he likes when there's already a framework in place, Tesla, SpaceX, Twitter. When with Doge, he'd be responsible for setting it up from the start. And Bill Morgan just saying, I certainly hope so. Elon is another strange cat that we are going to keep our eyes on. Of course, the X platform, a lot of us in the XRP community are already on that platform, and a lot of speculation has been going around with regards to what cryptocurrencies he's going to be using. Well, Mark Cuban has also decided to challenge Gary Gensler's stance. This one coming from Michael Branch here. So Mark Cuban has stirred the cryptocurrency debate by challenging SEC Chairman Gary Gensler's regulatory stance on digital assets. Cuban took to Twitter questioning Gensler's consistent categorization of token holders as investors, a term he implies may not be applicable across the board. He underscored the need to differentiate between tokens that are actively enhancing, supporting, and promoting their platforms from those that are not. The entrepreneur highlighted the nuanced nature of cryptocurrencies and their potential for decentralized governance, a factor that the current regulatory environment may overlook. So, you know, the SEC is so laser focused on, is it a security, is it not a security, really focusing on, are people making money off these cryptocurrencies? But they really are ignoring the fact that these cryptos do have value. And I mean, part of the reason why we hold XRP is for that long-term utility. I've said it since the beginning. I'm always going to hold a portion of my XRP for that real-world utility. I'm going to be trading a large portion of it in this bull run. And these are things I'm going to be talking about on my Patreon for my patrons, because spec market trading is one thing, guys, but real-world utility is another. So Mark Cuban being quite critical here, his comments hint at a potential regulatory oversight that could stifle innovation and negatively impact the crypto ecosystem. The backdrop to Cuban's questioning was the recent speculation around a potential appeal in the Ripple case, as we all know. So Mark Cuban even coming out and challenging Gary Gensler on this. Wanted to thank Michael for pointing that out. And I mean, are you guys really surprised that the FUD continues to flow? Your friend SOMMI originally posting this yesterday. Okay, Ripple loves dumping their XRP coins on everybody. XRP used to have a 1.3 billion tokens, or used to have 1.3 billion tokens, and now it is at 50 billion tokens. Its market cap goes up over time, but they unlock their coins and dump on the market. So, you know, this has been that traditional stance here from BTC Maxis. They have been dumping rewards for 10 years on everyone. Ouch, XRP. But Jenna X here saying, you know, wrong. At launch, 100 billion XRP tokens were created, not 1 billion. 80 billion were allocated to the company and 20 billion to the 3 founders. Jed McCaleb finished dumping his tokens last year, and you can find that on BitHomp by looking at his Taco Stand wallet. Approximately 50 billion are currently in escrow today, which will be needed as Ripple carries out its vision. This is not a short-term crap coin, says Jenna X, and I know all of us in the XRP community agree with that sentiment. But I mean, the question remains, and, you know, we've talked about circulating supply, and we've looked at, you know, the crypto sphere, looking at that circulating supply, realizing how much XRP really is in the ecosystem. And if you look down here, XRP is back in number 4 spot. It was in number 3 earlier, and this is if you exclude Tether's USDT. And if you just look at circulating supply here, I mean, you know, for price to go up, it doesn't actually look that appealing, at least not for a spec market, you know, for prices to go to $500 or whatever in a spec market, just with, you know, just when you take into consideration the circulating supply and how much, you know, FOMO can actually realistically get pumped into the market. So, you know, this is why we have to have different targets for a spec market and for real-world utility. But, you know, there have been theories that real-world utility can bring XRP price even higher. So, when we look at Bitcoin circulating supply, for example, we're almost there, 92.59%. We're already at 19.4 million Bitcoin already minted. Ethereum is at 120.1. XRP, we know that there are only 100 billion, so that's the max supply in the XRP ecosystem, and only 52.69 XRP have been released at this time, or are currently circulating, I guess we should say, at this point in time. When we look at other coins like Cardano, it's 45 billion, and 35 billion, approximately 35 billion, are in circulation at this point in time. So that equates to about 78%. And we have different coins with different metrics here, looking at their circulating supply and how they're going to differ. Now, we really have to consider what XRP is going to be used for in the future. And this is kind of, rudimentary stuff. Going back to my videos from 2018 and 2019, trying to kind of get a handle on where we could realistically see price move in the future based on this real world utility. Now, we've gotten an optimistic approach, an optimistic look at where we could see XRP go one day. Rob Cunningham here tweeting this out. Exciting XRP discernment shared by a respected banking professional with current day treasury management experience with Wells Fargo, guys. And who he's talking about is Shannon Thorpe. Now, I waited a day to do this video because I really wanted to kind of dive into it and take a look and see what she was talking about. I couldn't find her LinkedIn, but I did find this. It was a screen grab somebody took and posted this photo online. Contact information, everything's all blacked out here. But you guys can see your business title and organization, business title, business relationship support representative at Wells Fargo Banking, supervisory organization. So for commercial banking, treasury management. So she's got experience in treasury management products, strategic execution, and business client management as well. So Shannon's conservative XRP price prediction is based on XRP being legally deemed a non-security by the U.S. Department of Justice, meaning XRP is an asset and therefore its valuation should not be calculated using securities formulas, methods, or thinking in the coming 2 to 7 months. So guys, she is predicting that by September 2023 to about February of 2024, Shannon foresees the XRP price ranging from $100 to $500 per coin. Please read Shannon's detailed explanation, caveats, exclusions, and rationale below. And so he retweeted out Shannon Thorpe's tweet here, guys, from a few days ago. Now, I'm going to get into this and we're going to look it over, try to dissect what she says here. So as you guys can see, Shannon Thorpe does say, I work in treasury management for Wells Fargo. I am also a licensed realtor in the state of Florida, though currently inactive. So it's not a financial advisor. Do your own research, but currently works in treasury for Wells Fargo. She says, people have long asked what the price of XRP will be. Of course, that is the magic question here in the XRP community. I think, probably one of the top questions we're all asking ourselves pretty much every single day. She says, what will the price be when this utility comes in? In my opinion, now more than ever, I see a divided XRP army. One side looking only at charts, taking cues from the past and trends that will follow Bitcoin to draw short-term price predictions. We'll see other cling to utility, believing that partnerships and the replacement of antiquated systems will drive the price. Now, I gotta say, if I were to consider myself in one of those camps, I'm not in either one of those camps. I'm in both of those camps because in a spec market, XRP will follow the charts, I think, very, very clearly. That's been demonstrated in the past, but once we do have that real world utility, everything is going to change, I think. And, this is why it's interesting, right? If we don't have the real world utility before the next bull run, well, then we're going to follow the spec pattern. We're going to follow Bitcoin. We're going to see how XRP and other coins are traded, and generally they follow Bitcoin. But it's that real world utility, and we wonder to ourselves, okay, when is that going to kick in? Well, she is saying Q4 2023 into Q1 of 2024. And guys, here's what she's saying, okay? Neither side has been correct, nor in the future will either side be correct. XRP, for those not in the know, is not a security. Why would we continue to pretend it is and make price predictions based on securities in the crypto space? This logic seems counterintuitive and holds back what the team Ripple set off to do so many years ago. If you dare to challenge the status quo, you must first believe in what you own and know that anything is possible. I've been asked to give my price prediction with no time frame, no clear understanding of circulating supply or firm dollar amount that equates to a start. All listed items are subject to change and will over time. We are just over 2 weeks from the SEC ruling. 1 week after the FedNow announcement, Congress has just passed a proposed crypto regulation bill to the Senate, and we are just 9 days into testing FedNow with banks. So we got to consider that we are still very early on in the process. And she mentions Val Hill Capital. They've written a whole white paper on XRP price. And I will not pretend to think that I know any of that math they did, but people look at that document in shock and say there's no way that XRP can be that high. So here's the small problem I have with the chart. She says if you set a range of XRP being at $1 to $5, you're ultimately saying that if one company owns all the XRP, yes, all 100 billion, they would have a liquidity strength. Okay, so she uses this term a few times, liquidity strength, or LS, from $100 billion to $500 billion. Okay, now that makes sense. She's not considering that the charts, I mean, at least me, I talk about charts in a spec market scenario where there is no real world utility. So what she's talking about here with charts and real world utility is a very different beast. She says, keep in mind, there is a very small burn rate on each transaction regardless of amount. This liquidity strength does not account for any growth in the economy. So that's the other thing, guys. The economy is just getting bigger and bigger and bigger. It's not staying stagnant and it's not getting smaller. So we have to account for that. The action of messaging and settling nor the 24/7 365 benefits we receive using XRP. Swift handles about 44.8 million messages a day. These are just messages, not settlements, and only half of what XRP can do. Now let's say that the dollar value of Swift is 7 trillion a day, but this is not. So we got to remember what Swift does today is not 24/7, 365 days a year. If Ripple, through its 10 years of innovation and partnerships, were only able to grab 30% of Swift's value, that would be $2.1 trillion in daily value. So approximately 13.2 million messages. Now you may say that XRP settles in 1 to 5 seconds and that the liquidity would be there. Yes, settlements are quick. However, if I were to send a $750 million transaction with liquidity strength of, say, $1, that is roughly 10% of all that bank's XRP. Furthermore, there is more than one client and no one wants to break that $750 million into $750,000 to $1,000 transactions, each having a burn rate. So you got to remember, we're talking about a humongous financial system, and she is assuming that XRP is going to be used for the entire financial system. But even conservatively, she says at $1 to $5, you would still need a mammoth amount of XRP for these transactions, and that's just not doable. I mean, to the point that David Schwartz has said too, XRP cannot be a low price. It has to command a high enough price to perform these transactions. So I think we're all kind of on the same page here. Cannot be $1 to $5. I mean, if you look at a spec market without the real world utility, $5 is very doable, and we might struggle to get to $5 or $7. But again, these are two very different things. I want to keep reiterating that. So you still want a price prediction. Let's account for all the banks globally, all the XRP that has been burnt, all the XRP you and I own, all the XRP given to other large banks, and the XRP given to the creators. Now take the XRP that is on liquidity hubs and exchanges and present an amount that represents a range. So let's make it simple. If I had to guess 50 to 75 billion XRP at any one time supporting liquidity strength, now spread that across, say, 300 to 1,000 different banks, liquidity providers, and governments. So then she does some math here. $1 at 75 billion equals $75 billion. And $75 billion divided by 1,000 banks, 75 million XRP or dollars for each bank and or liquidity provider. So assume all big banks will have more XRP and the small banks will use more liquidity providers. Assume banks and liquidity providers will purchase from exchanges or us through automated market making. Assume Ripple has released all of their XRP from escrow to get to that 75 billion. If circulating supply is less than 75 billion, well, the price of XRP goes exponentially higher. Given liquidity strength is roughly 75 million per bank, and JP Morgan being a top tier bank moving more than $8 trillion a day, to say due to service overlaps with Swift and the assumption that Ripple only captured 10% of the market, equaling $800 billion. Remember, only 75 billion XRP is out there. $1 is not enough to move that kind of money, but that should go without saying. So again, to David Schwartz's point, XRP has to command that high price in order to facilitate these types of transactions. She goes on to say this is not just cross-border transactions, not derivatives, not real estate CBDCs, to include but not limited to foreign countries, banks, and projects, technical parallels, and NFTs. So you got to think of, guys, all the other applications that are also being built on the XRP ledger. So is it hard for you to still believe Val Hill Capital and their price prediction of thousands of dollars per XRP? But what's going to happen in the near term? Now, part of you have all been waiting for my price prediction, and she says it's anywhere between $100 to $500 near short term, so 4 to 7 months. I mean, I could wait 7 months for a $100 XRP. I don't know about you guys. It all boils down to if liquidity strength of XRP is $100 at a supply of, say, only 50 billion. That makes for liquidity strength to 5 trillion at $500. That gives a liquidity strength of about $25 trillion. This gives the market room to breathe, allows for growth, and ensures no one company needs to own billions of XRP to perform day-to-day operations. So that's the other thing, right? We do not want to be transacting, or these banks, these big financial institutions, they do not want to transact with so much XRP. They want to use fewer XRP at a higher price. Now, how and when will this happen? How and when for me are tied together. It has always been what the creators have stated, a flip of the switch. I say this as I believe there will and has been an evaluation of XRP like gold. This is how they will price you out. This is what I believe Rosie Rios meant when she stated the train has left the station, and this is how the governments control the next world of finance. I hope this ages well, says Shannon Thorpe. So a very lofty prediction. And 4 to 7 months, I mean, we're already in the midst of a new financial system being created as we speak. And again, Shannon Thorpe works in treasury management for Goldman Sachs. So maybe, I mean, 4 to 7 months, this could blow the spec market out of the water. And maybe we just throw these charts out the window. I don't know. Tell me down in the comments, though, what you guys think. And please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Like the video if you like the content I'm providing. I always love hearing your comments. See you in the next one, guys.